I'm getting bored, man. You want to come over and play G.I. Joes?
I would love to.
What's up, y'all? What it is, what it do? You rocking with the OG Young Viper. Welcome back to the channel. And this is the top 10 crossovers for 2025 from vintage to classified. What that is, this list is for the two-way collectors like me to collect vintage and classify all other sizes and genres and name brands of G.I. Joe. So this is about what captured the nostalgia. What brought that magic back for people like me that come from the old school but like the new stuff too. But what brings us back, because Hasbro has definitely caught on to the fact that nostalgia is where the money's at. Especially when it comes to my age group and my demographic. Because as soon as we see it, we buy. And I think Super 7 might have been the ones to help them realize that, but they definitely do a better job for the most part. And so this is about the figures that captured that magic, that brought us back, that we saw coming out like, hey man, that's it. And with that said, these figures right here did that. These would be number one for this list. But they're in a 2-pack, so that's not fair to the ones that came out single. So that's why these guys are honorable mention. And so is this dude here. He had to be mentioned. And this dude right here, problem is with him, he may be probably the greatest figure that they made for 2025, but he don't compliment the original at all to me. Doesn't make me think of the OG when I look at him, even though he probably is definitely in the top 3, if not the best figure that they made last year. And he's a dope figure, to say the least. Came with so much, you can't knock him. And same thing with this guy. He would definitely be high on my list, or on the list, or placed very high, but they didn't put him in green. And he's one of the greatest figures that was one of my faves for 2025 is Breaker. But you see the first Breaker they came out with the Ram cycle behind him, he came out in the right color. And then you got this guy, same thing, great figure. But he doesn't really capture the magic of the original like some others did, that came out that year. Many others. Figures that I'm a bigger fan of this figure than I am of some that made the list. So that tells you how the list goes. And this guy here, Crankcase, gotta mention him. I wasn't disappointed with the Off-Striker at all. Glad you got Gridiron Studios. You can make up for any deficiencies you see in that. And then this guy here, speaking of deficiencies, that gun holster he got is pretty deficient, to say the least. But other than that, they did a good job. So I had to mention it. And then you got Mr. Fancy Pants right here. Mr. Cross Colors / Skids. If y'all remember Skids, those weird joints. But my OG from my childhood here, he had lost a leg in battle, so I had to replace it. But yeah, Mr. Fancy Pants, they did a great job with him, I think. I definitely dig that head sculpt and the sword. But didn't quite make the list, even though they definitely captured the nostalgia, just like they did with this Cobra Commander. They definitely captured a lot of the magic pretty much with him. Even gave you a little bonus. The Serpentor, that was dirty. how they did my man in the Deke, which was pretty much a horrible anime altogether. But anyway, here's the list, y'all. Coming in at number 10 is the Vipers. The Vipers. Yes, the Vipers. The Frag Vipers too. I want to throw them in there and say that yeah, they in here with these regular Vipers, but these Vipers, you know, they're just dead on the money as far as nostalgia go. They definitely captured the magic. Can't complain about the Vipers at all. Great to Army Bill. Gotta keep your eyes open so you can catch them on sale. With that said, let's go to number 9. Ain't gonna say a lot about this guy other than everybody wish they'd have used a different buck. But other than that, his gear, his loadout, it's all great. Definitely a great compliment to the vintage figure. Can't complain other than maybe that little buck. Coming in at number 8 is Beachhead. That's right. The dude that doesn't wear deodorant. Can't complain about this guy at all. Spot on the money, but it wasn't hard to make, I don't think, in the first place. But anyway, they did a great job. Glad to get Beachhead back. I can put my Cobra Island back on card. So, number 7 is Sci-Fi. Never was a big fan, but they were dead on the money with this one. I don't see how they could do a retro after this one, y'all. They spot on. But number 6, Rock and Roll. Always been a big rock and roll fan. Who isn't? A lot of people complain about the first one with the tattoos and all that stuff. But anyway, you don't have to worry about that now. They traded in the tattoos for eyeliner, it looks like. But mine's going to stay on card anyway. So shout out to Rock and Roll. And in at number 5 is Flint. I like the buck that they made. I think even that compliments the vintage a lot. That's why I left the backpack off, because, you know, Flint's supposed to have like big forearms, but a lot of people said they wanted him to be bigger. That's one I'm not complaining about. He might be smaller than the Cobra Island version. I'm not sure, but face sculpt might be a little iffy, but other than that, Flint would have placed higher. And then at number 4 is one of my favorites all around, is Xandar. I think they didn't miss at all with him. Except for maybe the vest not being easily removable, or a little different. But other than that, I mean, I really can't complain about him at all. I'm a big fan. I almost left him off the list. Don't tell nobody. I almost forgot that he was even in the 2025 because he came out so early. But yeah, Xandar, definitely a beast. But in at number 3, I think they did their thing. With Law and Order for sure. Like again, been some bad feedback about Order and his face sculpts, his different heads. One looks too goofy, the other one looks too crazy. I don't care. I think they did a great job. They use an Outback buck. You can't ask for a better one than that. And definitely a great compliment to the OG. Everything is there. And then at number 2, almost was number 1, because look at that. He's almost a carbon copy to the first one, to the OG. And he, they actually did something super intelligent. They took the backpack from the OG and made it make sense, you know, and gave it a little something extra. So I really love it. Glad they did that and did what they did with this guy. Always been a big Dial Tone fan. He always made being a nerd be cool. And in at number 1, guess y'all figured it out by now. Had to be Monkey Wrench. Ouch. But yeah, it's Monkey Wrench. Can't deny it. Can't run away from it. Can't deny it. It's Monkey Wrench, y'all. Yep, Monkey Wrench is number 1. I was a big Monkey Wrench fan. When that figure came out as a kid, I was like, I loved the scope. I was like, man, they really doing their thing. Like, I was like, man, because I drew. So I really appreciated all the tone, muscle tone and all that. And then they went overboard with the classified version. They really put some guns on this dude. and look like he's pumping, he's juicing or something. But yeah, shout out Monkey Wrench, #1, y'all.
Your name. You can call me Monkey Wrench. Me hobbies are heavy metal, unprovoked mayhem, and explosions. Loud explosions.
Like, just leave it up, boy. You know what I'm saying? What position? This one, that one? How about this position? Not resisting. I'm not resisting. You want to say resisting? I'll give you resisting. Get off me, mate. This is resisting, mate. That's resisting. I'm out of here. The 40 there stops with the red dog.